Hello everyone, welcome to today's video on Shot Soft Plastics, and today I'm going to be talking about how you can get into soft plastic making and how you can get into selling your own plastics and making your own plastics for yourself to catch some fish. To start this video off, I want to talk about what type of mold you need and if you want to be on the little cheaper end of things or if you want to get more expensive things and if you want to have higher quality plastics if you want to sell them. So to start out with the more budget friendly option, you can get a stone mold here. You can get them on Amazon for about 35 bucks. This is what's gonna basically shape your plastic. And I have a few problems with these, and I'll tell you my pros and my cons of these, and then I'll move into the more expensive aluminum mold. So with the plastic or with the stone molds, the pros are honestly you're gonna get your mold. You're gonna get what you want out of it. You just want Senkos, that's what you're going to get. You're going to get your plastic, but your way to getting the plastic is going to be pretty tough. So to start off with these, you need to clamp them together. So I usually use 2 clamps for these. You got to do one at the bottom, one at the top. You kind of got to clamp them together because there is no seal on these. There's no seal, as you can see, like they just pull right apart. So if you have this set out, you take your injector and you push in your plastisol, that's going to ooze out all these cracks, and that's really no good. It's not good at all, and like you're just not going to get any good formation of your Senko or whatever type of mold you have. And another thing that you got wrong with these is if you don't take something like this. I got this, just magic oil for making fishing lures is what it's called. Just this little bottle of oil. If you don't oil up these crevices and all of these, you are going to have a lot of trouble opening this thing back up once you are done letting it cool. You're going to open this up and it's just going to, like, it literally will not come apart. You'll have to pry it open, that can break your mold, and then nobody's happy. So you really got to oil those up, and then you just got oil everywhere, and then it's a big hassle, okay? So you got all that, and then on top of that, these stone molds are not super durable. As you can see there, this one cracked, and I had to, before I got my aluminum molds, I was covering those up, and I was trying to make it work, but it really didn't. So I upgraded to the aluminum molds. Another thing that I don't like about these is that since there is no seal, even with the clamps, you're going to get some plastic that's going to leave out onto the part that's not the actual indent of the mold. So now when you pull your Senkos out, now there's all this extra stuff around the actual Senko that you have to cut off and trim off, so it's just not perfect. So that's the Senko mold that I have of the stone mold. They aren't very expensive. You can get them for pretty cheap, but you're also getting cheap quality. Another one that I have is this one, and this one, not as bad as the Senko mold, I would say, but you do still have a lot of the overflow on the outsides, and it's a hassle if you want to sell them and make quality stuff. So then I upgraded to my aluminum molds. These aluminum molds are great. They're from AI Angling. I'll put a link in the video description below of their website. Very, very nice molds. You don't need any clamps whatsoever. They're all aluminum, and you don't have any overflow, any spillage, none of that. They're really, really nice molds, and you never have any problems with it. Like I don't think I've ever had a bad batch of worms come out. I think it's always been perfect. So that's one of my aluminum molds, and then another aluminum mold that I have is, this is actually a newer one. I just got this and I just started making them, are the ice molds. As you can see, that is a really tiny lure, okay? And you'd think that like you'd have a lot of bad batches and all that. Like you don't. Like with these high quality molds, you don't have that bad quality at all. You pay for what you get for, basically, with these molds. I've never had a problem with any of these aluminum molds, but they are pricey. So if you do want to make that commitment, just know that you're gonna have to spend the money to have that high quality stuff. What I want to get into is the injectors, and honestly, my injector is not expensive at all. I have a cheap injector that I got off of Amazon. It was like 35 bucks. I'm not sure of what the milliliters is on this, but as you can see, it's just a pretty basic build. Your injector, just shoot it up and then into the mold. Not much to these, but if you do upgrade, let's say you have multiple of these Senko molds next to each other, they're all together and you're shooting multiple at a time, this injector will not do. So you got to upgrade to a bigger injector. They make dual injectors, or they make a bigger single injector as well. Now I want to go into some of the accessories that I have that work well for me. First thing is a temperature or thermometer, gauge, whatever. These are really, really important, okay? They're super important because your plastisol, when you heat it up in the microwave, you want to make sure that it doesn't get over a certain temperature. That's usually around 350. You don't want it to get above 350 because then it can start to cupcake, and then that's when the fumes of the plastisol actually become toxic, and it can be very harmful to humans. And then you also need it to make sure your plastisol is hot enough. You don't want to be shooting cold plastisol because then none of your lures are going to turn out nice. So that's another big thing. Another big thing is just an old butter knife. I literally took these from my kitchen, old butter knife. All you need to mix the plastisol, not too much that goes into there. Sometimes I use the scissors to cut up old, like these ends right here. If you get the tubes on the end, you use these to cut it up and put it just easier to melt it down. Next thing I want to go into is plastisol, and basically there's two ways that you can go about this. There's a cheaper side and less work that goes into it, and then there's a more, I wouldn't say more expensive. It's not, plastisol isn't too expensive unless you get it in big quantities, but it's not too bad for price wise, but there is an easier way to get it, but you're also not going to get maybe results that you want and maybe not portions that you want. So you can get these little block plastisols. I don't have any on me. This is what I started out with, the block plastisols. I'll put a picture on the screen there for you, but they're little block plastisols that you just heat up, and that's your plastisol. You don't have to add any color, any pigments, any glitter, none of that. So it's a really easy way to get started, and that's what I started with. But there is another way, though, if you want to get like your green pumpkins and all of that stuff in your bigger batches and everything. Then you go over and you get jugs of plastisol, just white plastisol here. You gotta mix it up a little bit, okay? And then with that, now you have to add all your pigments. So like this is a bubblegum pigment. I just have this, and then I get these little droppers. They're real cheap, just little droppers to drop it into your plastisol. And then if you aren't sure about, oh, I don't want to get the whole entire pint because I don't know if I'm going to like the color, you can also just go on Amazon or anything, just get these small little pigment containers. They're like $5 on Amazon, not expensive. And then you can also go into and get all your glitter, and if you want, I dumped into here and labeled it, but you can get all your different types of glitters and everything. Make your plastics look real nice and customize them how you want them to. But that's all other stuff that you can get if you start out with the blocks and want to keep expanding. I would say that's pretty much it for materials and all your different types of materials, other than obviously a microwave because you need a way to heat your plastisol. So now I will go into my process. Alright, so now today, just for showing purposes, I'm going to tilt the camera down here. I'm only going to put in 1 cup of plastisol because these ice molds don't use any plastisol, or hardly any. So now, well, today I'm actually going to make a new color for you guys. I've never done this, so I'm not sure how this is going to look. I'm using a watermelon pigment here. Just spilled some on my table. So as you can see here, I'm just putting in drops of my Plastisol, and then I'll mix it up when I'm done. Okay, that was about 20 drops there, so see how that looks. Obviously for your Senkos and all your bigger baits, you're using bigger batches of Plastisol, more amount of pigment, stuff like that. But just for showing you here on the video today, I'm going to use a smaller batch here just because I'm using the ice molds in the middle of winter. So it's like a green color here. I think I'm going to lighten it up a little bit, or make it more of like a, actually, I think I'm going to add it a little bit more. I'm going to add about 10 more drops. About 10 drops there. See how that looks. Okay, so now I kind of got that dark green color going here. So now you can see it's kind of goopy here, and this is what you want. You want that Plastisol to be more goopy. And then here's the thing. So now, I'm just going to get some paper towel out. When you microwave this now you're going to want to put, for the first batch, you're going to want to put it, when it's not activated yet, you're going to want to put it in for about 4.5 minutes. Okay, that's going to turn that, it's going to turn that Plastisol super runny. It's going to make it almost like water. Like, it's going to make it really runny, and then you'll check your temperature, you'll get your temperature gauge out, you'll start checking temperatures, and then after that it should start to get real goopy, and then that's when it should start to stick. And then check your temperature. Once it's about 250 to 300 degrees, that's when you can start shooting it into your molds and making it look nice. Alright, it's been in there for about 2.5 minutes or so. I'm going to show this here, hopefully. Alright, so I've actually gone past, since it's only a couple Plastisol, I've gone past the watery stage. But as you can see, super goopy now. You can see like it's almost hard. Alright, so now that means you're close, right? We'll check the temperature here. We're at 279, but you can't just go based solely off the temperature, because if you look at this, like, you're not going to be able to inject that into your injector, and like, it's just not going to go well for you. You have to redo the whole batch. It's not going to be good. So now we'll put it back in there for 1.5 minutes, and we'll see what it looks like after that. The microwave just got done here, and taking the Plastisol out. Another good thing to have in here, guys, if you don't, a fan to blow out all these fumes. It's not the best to inhale, alright? So it's good if you have your fan in there if you need it, but one thing that I'm seeing right here, guys, is that there's a lot of bubbles in here. Okay, so I'm going to let this settle a little bit before I start to, or at least mix it quite a bit, before I start to inject it. Otherwise, some of my plastics here are going to get all bubbly in the middle, and that's just no good, because then you're not making high quality plastics anymore. So now, you just take your injector, inject it right in there. I don't need to fill up my whole injector, because like I said, this ice mold doesn't take very much at all. Take it. You'll feel a plug there, and as you can see, the top is even, like, just that press on the cold aluminum is already making it start to harden. So really, what I like to do to speed this process up a little bit is I like to take this mold here, I like to bring it over here, I like to actually put it in my freezer. So I just take this, take it here, put it right there, and then there. Now it's in my freezer. The ice molds, I usually wait 2 to 3 minutes-ish, and then my bigger molds, like my Senko molds here, I'll take these and I'll put them in for 5. Just to make sure that all that Plastisol hardens in there and it all comes out looking real nice, and I don't have to redo any batches. Alright guys, it's been about 2 minutes now. I'm going to go grab this out of the freezer here, and I will open up the mold, check out how it looks. So now, if you follow all these steps like correctly, and you make sure you take your time injecting and everything, take your time with the microwave, make sure that plastisol is heated up, then you're going to get high quality results, and you're not going to have to redo any batches. And I'll just talk a little bit here. As I'm opening this mold, cross-contamination is a really big thing in this industry, if you want to call it. It's really important that you don't so now I got this cup of plastisol here. I'm going to use this up, and then now start pouring a different thing in there without really deep cleaning it. Like, that's a big thing. Now let's see, I got this green color now. Now what if I head over to a pink or a white? You're going to get those, like, all those green little, just tiny little specks of plastic in that pink, but you're really going to be able to tell because of the lighter color. So now here, it's on this side. Check that out. So now, there's my mold. You can see all those little micro tails in there. So, as you can see, they came out great, which is awesome, because it's really nice when you can open up a mold and they all look like that, and you don't have to worry about redoing a batch or anything like that. So now, a big thing for the curing process is making sure to wait 24 hours at least before you start to package them, because then it gives them time to cure, it gives them time to cool, all that good stuff. And basically what I do, I just take this here. I take my little end of plastisol off that just to get more plastisol back in my container. So now I take this, and then I have right here, I have these drying racks up here. I got 2 of them here. I just lay them right across here like this. Just lay them right across here. I'll kind of straighten them out a little better. But yeah, I lay them just like that, and then that's for the ice ones. The Senkos are really nice because you can take, here if I got a whole bunch of these left over, but if you take this, and you can see where those, you can maybe see, I don't know if you can see on the camera, but you can see where those plastics there, you can see where they got ripped off. You can take them and actually just put them in there, each individual row there, and then they'll hang down. They'll make sure they stay straight, they don't curve, all that good stuff, and then they'll be cured and nice and straight for you. So that's going to be about it for today's video. If you like this video, make sure to drop a subscribe, drop a like. It would really help this channel out. Share it with your friends, all that good stuff. I'm going to try to get out and post one more video of ice fishing before the ice comes off. My resting schedule picks up. It gets pretty busy here in February, but if I can get out one more time, hopefully I can post a nice video for you guys. But if not, I'll start getting ready for turkey season, and you guys will see those videos pretty shortly. Until then, see you guys.